your skin, that shit is popping, girl. Body on 10, damn, you got it, girl. You gotta boss up. Getting them checks, hitting your base, racks up. Oh, keep walking with confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
Hey, Booze. Hey. It has been such a crazy week so far. Just found out that one of my biggest clients who has spent the most money with us and who is one of our strongest references who goes to podcasts for us and attests to how amazing our services are. Their most recent drug manufacturing run fell through. So this week has been wild. I've been self-indulging and self-medicating with Yasso, Poppables, and True Fruit. Cherry is my favorite. If y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody. I guess there are worse guilty pleasures that I could be indulging in right now. But that's what I've been living off of is dark chocolate and frozen Greek yogurt. It's so good these past few days. We're going to get it back on track tomorrow. But anyway, so I won't stay here long. Tonight, I did want to come and share my commentary about this Reesa Teesa situation and about the importance of decentering men and how she was so damn desperate. She met a man, moved him into her house under a year, got pregnant, married him. Meanwhile, he lied about his upbringing, lied about his grandparents being dead, lied about his job, had a secret marriage he didn't tell her about, was secretly an ex-convict. And she ignored all of this because she censored having a partner so much and didn't know how to love herself and how to decenter male partners. So let's get into it. So before we dive into Miss Reesa Teesa, I want to talk about other prominent examples of this and the importance of decentering men. And I want to talk about Wendy Williams, child. Miss Wendy Williams, the queen of radio, the queen of daytime television. Apparently, it has come out recently based off of her docuseries that she has alcohol-induced dementia and is now in custody of the state due to her diminishing health that is depleting very quickly.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Wendy Williams always said she wanted to come back to daytime television, but she has an even bigger challenge than anyone would have imagined. We're learning that the former talk show host has been diagnosed with a form of dementia. Stephen Fabian has details.
Heartbreaking news. Wendy Williams is suffering from dementia and aphasia, the same disorder that has stricken actor Bruce Willis. In a press release issued today under Wendy's name, her care team reveals after undergoing a battery of medical tests, Wendy was officially diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. It says aphasia is impacting Wendy's language and communication abilities, and it calls her dementia a progressive disorder, impacting behavior and cognitive functions. The news broke just moments before The View came to an end today.
We wanted to update you on some news that has just broke concerning Wendy Williams. Wendy and her care team just released a statement that she's been diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. Our hearts go straight out to her.
Wendy's care team says the diagnosis came after the legendary talk show host underwent a battery of tests here at Weill Cornell Medicine in New York City. That information was released as speculation mounted about her whereabouts. Now, right now, she's in an undisclosed facility known only to her court-appointed guardian. Even her own family says they have no idea where she is. Wendy's niece, Alex Finney, appeared on The View promoting the upcoming Lifetime documentary, Where is Wendy Williams?
Her ultimate decision was that everybody's telling my story, no matter how painful it is. I want to tell it.
She didn't say a word about the dementia diagnosis, which was announced by Wendy's PR team. We spoke to neurologist Dr. Leah Kroll.
This is a progressive disorder, and there is no known cure or medication that we could give to slow the disease process down. And so in general, things will gradually get worse with time.
Bruce Willis was forced to retire from acting after his diagnosis in 2022. His family gives regular updates on his condition and shares heartwarming video of him, like this birthday celebration.
Right at it.
You really have to hand it to Wendy Williams and Bruce Willis in terms of how generous and brave it is of them to come out with this. This is not a diagnosis that's easy to be open about at all, and they're doing us such a beautiful service by drawing attention to it.
In this just released clip from the documentary, you see Wendy like you've never seen her before, without her signature glamorous wigs. The documentary is so raw and so revealing that Wendy's niece was asked if the former talk show host is being exploited.
How do you respond to that? Well, I respond to that by saying I was not paid. Right. Sitting here today, I haven't taken a dime. I'm not getting paid off of this. This is literally just a labor of love and fighting for your family.
The Lifetime special Where is Wendy Williams airs in 2 parts this Saturday and Sunday.
In the name of all that is holy, would you look at Karen Smith's gym clothes?
Of course, all the plastics are in the same gym class. Where are the plastics?
They're teen royalty. If North Shore was Us Weekly, they would always be on the cover.
We run, hey, 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 what's happening?
That one right there is Ayanna Van Zant. She's one of the dumbest people you'll ever meet. I sat next to her in law school last year, and she told me I should date our bus driver. And that funny-looking one over there, that's Tyler Perry. She expects women to cape and coddle broke men because she was one and we turned her into a billionaire. She also tells successful black women to date who can pay the light bill because she secretly does the same thing. And evil takes a human form in Nicki Minaj. She's male-identified and male-worshipping, so hates other women who look like her.
Is it the thanks that I get for putting you bitches on?
She hates black women so much, she even defends predators and married one. She even victim blames and makes fun of DV survivors.
I call her Bigfoot. The bitch fell off. I said, get up on your good foot. Lie on her dead mama. Lie on her dead mama. Lie on her dead mama.
Are you tired of constantly being bullied by mules and mean girls? Are you sick of being told to lessen your standards and to ride or die? Are you exhausted from tolerating anything just to say you got a man? Then you're in the right place. Join the Lexus Exodus Patreon private community to meet like-minded, divested women who prioritize self first. In my Patreon, you will participate in exclusive lives, get access to exclusive content, get access to a private community of other divested women, and much, much more. Join us by visiting patreon.com/LexusExodus. See you soon. And I never heard of such a thing of alcohol-induced dementia, but I have heard of women who meet their demise prematurely and experience these physical and real mental ramifications and implications and deteriorate over trauma that they experience in relationships. And I truly believe that's what happened to Wendy. And it's not far-fetched. So let's look at the chain of traumatic events that she experienced. So her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, abused her over and over again for years. He used and abused her after she allowed him to live in the lap of luxury due to her manual labor. She birthed his children, and he did nothing but mistreat and cheat on her. So he systemically rode her coattails and pretended to be her manager, although he brought very little, close to nothing to the table, nothing but pain and trauma. He cheated on her, misused her money for side chicks, and even had a side baby. Okay. And meanwhile, all she did was hold him down and ride or die and house him in a mansion. And he mistreated her so bad to the point where she resorted to substance abuse over and over again. She ended up losing her show and lost everything as a direct result of everything she experienced. And now she's a former shell of herself. It's so weird listening to her talk now. She used to be so full of life, so enthusiastic, so personable, so energetic, so much personality. Now it's like a robot. And Wendy is unrecognizable now. And people wonder why she done lost her damn mind. If you are male identified and codependent, men will take you there. This is the importance of decentering men. And I remember going through something similar with the Name Dog I Loved and being on the brink of losing my sanity like Wendy. My son's father, in fact, reminds me of Kevin Hunter, how they act. There is a very real physical component of trauma. And we don't like to talk about it, but mental anguish manifests itself physically eventually. You start to have physical issues and mental issues. And this is why they say stress leads to hypertension and strokes and ish. I believe stress and mental anguish and trauma can take you to the point where some women lose themselves and lose their minds. This is why it's important to decenter men, y'all. And I promise you, men are simple and damn stupid. They just want to be fucked and fed. They just want for you to look pretty and shut up, and that's it. And then they're happy. Give them a full belly and an empty nutsack. And they are very happy. They ecstatic child. And I promise you, there's nothing else to it. So why center your core value and your entire being around something and someone so damn simple and so fickle? It is literally like centering your health and well-being around a damn toddler. That's how their attention span is. They have the attention span of 2-year-olds. So here you go, structuring your entire sense of self, your self-confidence, your self-value, your self-worth around someone who will chase anything with a hoe. There's been whole news stories who have gone viral about men effing inanimate objects like pipes and getting their penis stuck in there. Them messing with horses and damn corpses, y'all. As a matter of fact, I remember coming across a story where they said Marilyn Monroe, after she died, she left the morgue with like 5 different individuals' DNA inside of her body. And that's due to the men at the morgue not being able to control themselves and having intercourse with her body. So it literally is like determining your self-worth based off of what the local crackhead says, y'all. Don't nobody give a F about that man's opinion. You a crackhead. Like, seriously, stop being so desperate. And marriage is nice and relationships are fun. I know I am in one, but they are not the end all be all. They are not an accomplishment. Men are not the prize. They come a dime a dozen and a penny a pile. You want a man? I got 20 chasing me right now, child. Come take them, please. And they old, funky, washed up men at work. All married. They all have children with women they don't deserve to be with, in my opinion. Washing their dirty drawers, sniffing up they behind. One is 50 years old at work with a wife my age. I'm in my 30s. He the size of a damn shrimp. Still chasing behind me and running up behind me, and I'm happily partnered. And I do nothing to attract this but exist. I pay them dust. And I don't get flattered by that mess. These ninjas will pursue a pit bull if it was thick enough. And I'm talking about all races of men. I work in biotech, y'all. So there's literally a smorgasbord of men in my company. All ethnicities, all ages, all nationalities, and they all damn thirsty. Like, how many stories have we seen of males who F dogs and holes in the wall? They have children, some of them. And here you go, centering your whole entire self-esteem and your self-worth, centering your core around a man who ain't worth a goddamn anyway. Child, let's also talk about Gayle King.
To your question, is it difficult to date? Yes, I think so, because I really am attracted to men of color. I just am. I love how a black man says baby. Nobody says it like y'all.
Like
and I know you'll beep it out. I know you'll beep it out.
I don't really say it well, huh?
You know, he doesn't cuss good at all, Gayle. Every time he cusses, I'll be like, you making us look better.
No, it's just the way that it's said. I don't even know how to explain it to you.
Like how do they say it?
I can't do it.
That's my baby?
No. When they call you baby, like, hey, baby.
Like, hey, baby.
Yeah, I love how they say, hey, baby.
What's your hey, baby?
It's 2 separate things. It's not baby. It's 2 separate things. I love how they say, hey, baby, how you doing? It's different. It is different. And then how they just say, it could be a term of endearment. It could
Thank you.
It could be a term of endearment, or it could be I'm really pissed. But there's something about a black man says it. I'm attracted to that.
So
they gotta have something else too, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can cuss, Gail. If you want me to cuss, I'll cuss all day for you.
No, you don't want somebody with a potty mouth, Channing. It's not that. It's not that. But sometimes a well delivered curse word is very intelligent to me.
Okay, so let's rewind and also talk about how black men dragged her by that stiff synthetic wig and called her everything but a child of God, all because she held Kobe, his great ass, accountable. So all she did was ask Lisa Leslie about Kobe's legacy and talked about how it was tarnished because of the allegations. And remember, Snoop Dogg's crackhead looking ass was online calling her a funky dog face ass bitch. And he was out there threatening her publicly for simply mentioning these allegations. Boosie also publicly attacked her as well, and she ended up receiving threats of unaliving. They dragged her, and here she go publicly gushing about this basic nigga-ish. Black woman, decenter men. It is not okay to continue to pedestalize your abusers and worship those who harm you just because they have a pee-pee. You know, they hate Gayle and Oprah the most too, which is crazy to hear her talk like this. I swear the basic nigga uniform is believing Bill Cosby was about to buy NBC and also touting about how Oprah and Gayle are a part of this conspiracy theory and the Illuminati to take down whack men. Seriously, that's the Knick-Knock starter kit. Gayle and Oprah have become some of the most hated black women in America because the black community hates them because they don't fit the patriarchal, Eurocentric norm of what society deems as beautiful. They are also aren't bone thin and are normal size, dark-skinned women with 4C hair and Afrocentric features like most black women. They're also successful and don't need any men's validation for anything. They're also both married. What ninjas hate most are phenotypically black women who are not beholden to them and can't be subjugated by them. And here she go getting dragged by that plastic baby doll shiny hair lace front she wearing, gushed over them for some nonsense. Decenter men, black women. Okay, so let's finally talk about this Reesa Teesa situation. Child, so we know that this whole debacle was 50 parts long. It totaled about 5 hours. I went ahead and edited this and summarized the series of events in under 8 minutes. This is the craziest story I've ever seen in my life. Let's get into this 50-part story that's gone insanely viral about who the did I marry in under 10 minutes. So Reesa Teesa meets Legion the Demon on a dating site. She gets a flat tire on the way to their first date, which if that ain't a damn moment, I don't know what is. So anyway, she calls him, drops her pin. He shows up like a knight in shining armor or a wolf in sheep's clothing, depending on how you look at it. Reesa says not only is he 6'4" and handsome, but he saves the day and buys her a new tire, so she is just smitten at first sight with this seemingly chivalrous, distinguished gentleman. They proceed to dinner, hit it off, and they talk all night. He tells her about how he's a preacher's kid from Philly, moved to Cali where he went to school, and also made bank playing arena football, and how he recently relocated to Atlanta for a managerial role at a condiment company. They both talk about being marriage-minded. He explains he was married once before to a cheating harlot and was heartbroken after she had an affair, so they divorced. He says he's still very close to his former stepchildren, however, but that he's ready to get married again, and he even proceeds to lay it on thick, child, and play a dang love song by John Legend called I Think I Met My Wife Tonight. Talk about love bombing, child, but Miss Reesa Teesa is head over heels in love now. His narcissistic acting got her hook, line, and sinker. They begin to talk daily after this and are stuck by the hip over the next few weeks until the panorama happened, and everyone has to go on lockdown. Miss Teesa says she ain't want to be alone, and since his so-called wealthy former football player lived in a one-bedroom efficiency studio apartment, Reesa invites this complete stranger to quarantine with her in her 3-bedroom townhome. Child, things are going great at first. Reesa says he's paying all the bills. She said, ooh, he got money. She also noticed that he's very family-minded and talks to his relatives for hours on end on the phone every day, although she's never met or spoke to any of them in real life herself. Reesa talks about how she's very religious and didn't want to shack up, so they seriously begin to talk about marriage very quickly as well. During these discussions, Legion the liar says he was looking for a house anyway, and now that they're together, they should start looking for a house together. He shows her a mortgage pre-approval letter on his phone from Chase Bank for $750,000, so they find a house they like, talk to a realtor, and put in an offer. Reesa admits that she isn't really in the loop like she should be because they weren't planning on putting her name on the title anyway. So all the updates Reesa is getting are secondhand from Legion the Demon. Shout. So a few days later, Legion the Liar says the offer was accepted. Let's go blow a bag and head to IKEA to decorate this big old house we about to own. I'm just playing, y'all. They went to Lowe's for appliances and things, but quite honestly, IKEA or the Goodwill was more assigned with Legion's non-existent broke-ass budget. So they go shopping. Legion says, just throw it in the bag. Reesa picks all this furniture out and Legion puts a deposit down on it so the store can hold it until they finally close. A few days later, the realtor reaches out to Reesa and asks, what y'all gonna do about this house, sis? Turns out Legion never even put a damn offer in. He continues to lie though and claims he did put an offer in but decided to go through his friend who was also a realtor so that friend could get the credit instead. Reesa knows he a bold-faced lie, but she decides to play along with the lie to be nice and eventually gives him an out and tells him, it's okay, let's just go ahead and back out the deal because interest is really high right now. Child. So Reesa knows something is terribly wrong at this point. She just so hard up for a man and wants to be married so badly she don't even care. She winds up pregnant, which intensifies the conversations about the need for them to get married because she a Christian girl and can't be shacking up. Shortly after, she miscarries, and I don't want to say she dodged a bullet, but they say God protects babies and fools. Quite honestly, I believe he was protecting both in this situation. Legion, a damn demon trifling that claims he got a promotion to VP at the condiment company he worked at and can't take off work during this time, so he leaves Reesa at the hospital to miscarry alone, child. Reesa eventually heals and recovers. She has an uneventful engagement where they eat dinner and Legion alive pretty much proposed by saying, you want to marry a nigga or nah? Reesa says yes, so they continue the conversation about buying a home again. They look at 20 damn houses, she says, and none of them end up panning out for some reason. This time, they find a $700,000 one they like, and Legion decides to put in an offer for all cash, child. He claimed he got money stacked up all from playing arena football, and Reesa just take his word for it. The owner says they'll accept the offer happily once he shows proof of funds. Legion adamantly refuses to show any proof until the offer is accepted, so another house falls through the cracks, child. He also promises her a car during this time. He even takes her to a bunch of luxury car lots. And even though Reesa says admittedly he was driving a damn Ford Taurus, he convinces her that he gonna buy her a brand new BMW, child. He has her test drive about 20 damn luxury cars, but like everything else in Legion of Liars land of make-believe, none of this ever comes into fruition, so no car, no house. Despite all this, Reesa still decides to elope with Legion the Liar, all out of desperation to be married, the fear of being alone, and also due to her Christian upbringing. These is all her words, not mine, child. She says things are cool for about 2 weeks after getting married, but shortly after it was like a light switch clicked and things turned from shoddy to shit quickly. She finds out he's sliding in random floozies DMs on Facebook, sexting and sending peen pics after she looks through his phone, child. She confronts him, they go to marriage counseling at her church. The pastor says, tell the truth and shame the devil. And he even told her dumbasses they should have never gotten married and that they probably won't last a full year, child. Life goes on, but things being normal with Legion, a damn demon, is too much like right. So he randomly pops up and tells her his former stepdaughter passed away suddenly from COVID. So he claims he needs to send his ex-wife $2,000 to cover funeral expenses. Reesa says, of course. So he sends it. Fast forward shortly after, Reesa decides to get a new job, and for some reason they need Legion the Demon's social security number in the application. He reluctantly provides it, so Miss Reesa Teesa finally, after being impregnated and getting married to a man she knew for only a few months, decides to do her due diligence and runs a background check. She ends up calling the college he claimed he went to. They confirmed he never attended. She finds out he was married twice, not once like he said, and even calls one of the ex-wives who confirms he a goddamn pathological liar. Nothing that he says is true and that her daughter is in fact alive and well and did not die of COVID. She also calls several of his relatives who he had pretended to talk to on the phone to daily the whole time. They all confirm that these are all lies and they ain't talked to that man in years. She also finds out he lied about his entire upbringing. He lied about being a VP and is simply a forklift driver at the condiment company, and also that he is an ex-felon and was arrested for impersonating an officer before. Moreover, she finds out all these financial statements and this approval letter were just screenshots this fool was Googling, child. So during this whole time, Legion the Demon injures his leg at work to the point where he eventually becomes bedridden and his health begins to decline very quickly. She finds out he pissing in bottles, child. He can't even make it to the damn bathroom, so he peeing in water bottles. Reesa doesn't confront him about his lies, but does look at his phone again, and this time she find out he testing whole prostitutes even though he a damn cripple. So Legion, the peg-leg demon, can't make it to the damn restroom and pissing on himself, but was able to make it to some poom poom and F some prostitutes, child. So she finally determines that she has had enough and kicks out Legion, the peg-leg demon, and tells him she wants a divorce. He leaves reluctantly, ends up homeless and living in his car. And she says the next time she sees him while out and about, he smells, looks emaciated, and went from a size 3X to a large, child. Now, don't get me to telling lies, but they in Atlanta, and it sounds like Legion may have finally purchased a home, but this time it's the house in Virginia, child. She feel a little bad when she see him cash out his bum at $5 for some damn chicken nuggets and tells him to get the F on. So weeks later, he somehow figures out she can't legally kick him out their marital home, so he informs her that he plans to return. Reesa calls the police. They confirm that this is accurate and she can't legally kick him out. However, they also find out that he has an active warrant due to a probation violation. So the day this man returns to her townhome, Miss Reesa Teesa doesn't immediately go home. Instead, she calls the police as soon as he steps foot on her property. Not only do they arrest Legion the damn lie and take his ass to jail, she calls the car company the next day because he's past due on his car payments and they come repo his ish. So not only is Legion the damn demon homeless, the car he living with is now gone. He locked up, and Teesa then proceeds to sell all his shit and pack it up and move before he's released from jail. A little while after, the divorce is finally finalized, and Reesa Teesa can finally move on. This don't make no motherfucking sense, black woman. It don't make no goddamn sense. I'm sick of this shit. So we had this black woman who was college educated, single, self-sufficient, and child-free, willing to go 50-50, and she throws it all away for a ninja without two pots of piss in or a window to throw it out of. So he done lied about being a VP, and he was a forklift driver. He lied about having $700,000 cash to buy a house, put in 22 home offers that all fell through, and he lives in a one-bedroom efficiency. She moved him in after weeks during the pandemic into her 3-bedroom home, 2-bath townhome. Even though he lived in a studio, he lied about buying her a BMW. Meanwhile, he was driving a damn Ford Taurus. He lied about taking her on vacation to London. He lied about having an assistant. Left her in the hospital for dead. What Mama D said, you done left them for dead. Left them for dead. Later on, so thick, he pretended to be his own executive assistant during her miscarriage and left her in a damn hospital for hours to suffer alone. Meanwhile, she done found out he effing prostitutes. This is just so damn diabolical and evil. He's sitting there talking to himself on the phone for days, pretending that he's talking to relatives, having these long conversations with himself, pretending that he's talking to loved ones. Meanwhile, she ain't met none of these people. This is what she's dealing with. This is what she was willing to tolerate. She accepted all this nonsense, all because she was admittedly desperate to be married, and she sent her man. She says, I just wanted it to be my turn to have the family and the husband. She says verbatim, I ignored the United Nations of red flags, ought to be married to no good at ninja. She says, I wanted it to be my turn. At this point, I can't tell if she's crazy or he is. Who the crazy person says? Who the crazy person? What do they say? You should never argue with a crazy person because people on the outside looking in can't tell who crazy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Meanwhile, she whole college educated. This mushmouth dumb ninja only got a certification to drive a damn forklift. That's how pathetic he is. He lying about that. This is where we are at, black women. This is where we at. Our self-esteem is so low and shot. The bar is in hell. and we were content with taking a Red Lobster and Cheesecake Factory. He done bought her a damn used tire on the first day and got her hook, line, and sinker. So now she's willing to give access to her home, give him her last name and her womb child. Like, are y'all fucking for real? Like, at what point do Black women decide that having peaceful solitude and a peaceful, uneventful existence is worse than being miserably married? Seriously, like you that hard up. You think that's worse? Just being alone is worse than being miserably married. At what point do you do some self-reflection and look at yourself in the mirror and say, all of this delusion and playing all these games, it's not worth it? She deliberately told this man, after finding out he was a bold-faced lie and wasn't buying ish when it came to that first home, she gives him an out, plays along, and says, oh, you know what? The interest is too high, so let's just back out. Let's keep looking. All to avoid holding him accountable and holding herself accountable for all of this foolishness and walking away. All to avoid having a sobering look in the mirror and saying, what's so wrong with myself? What is it about me that I find so undesirable that instead of being by myself and experiencing solitude, I'd rather deal with a fuck nigga? A sociopathic, narcissistic, dumbass nigga who lied about being a VP. Meanwhile, he worked for the damn condiment company selling freaking ketchup. He got to the point where he couldn't even get out the damn bedroom. So he's sitting there pissing in bottles, y'all. But then found the energy and time and money. He can't go to work and can't get up to go to the bathroom, but he find the energy and time to go at prostitutes, y'all. He go messing with peaches. Meanwhile, he bedridden. Really? Like, the nigga even lied about his grandparents being dead. He done said his former stepdaughter died of COVID. Like, what the daughter do? Damn it. Lying for no reason. But this is what I mean. This is a true testament of Black women needing to learn how to love ourselves. And shout out to Erica De Niro, who is an OG content creator when it comes to talking about the topics of decentering men. But she said recently, imagine getting on your knees to pray to a man, begging for a damn man. This is what y'all do. Meanwhile, y'all got the damn images, the patriarchal images of these men on your walls. You wearing them on your necklaces, on your jewelry. You praying to them. You going to sleep at night, imagining them. Decenter men. And just to piggyback on that thought, Isha in the chat, shout out to Isha. She shared one time, hey, this may sound crazy, but I pray to myself every day. She said, I pray to my goddamn self, nothing else. Every morning, I'm giving myself gratitude. I'm taking a moment to reflect, to thank my heart for continuing to pump blood throughout my body. I'm reflecting on how my lungs continue to breathe air and oxygen into my body. I'm thanking my brain for giving me the common sense to navigate really awful situations and to stay away from fuck niggas. And here y'all go. So Black male worshiping, so phallus worshiping, you're tolerating nonsense like this. We gotta do better. And the sad thing is this Reesa Teesa situation is not a rarity. It is not an anomaly. I know so many educated, independent Black women who succumb to loneliness, who are just like this, who felt like their biological clock was ticking, who felt like they didn't want to quarantine alone during the pandemic, and they succumbed to this. I have a very close friend who made it to be child-free and nigga-free up until her 30s, but guess what happened around the pandemic? She got pregnant by the first F nigga who showed her a little bit of attention. This man that met her on the first date on a damn Greyhound. And she done up and had a baby with him. Single, struggling. We got to do better. We have to incorporate self-preservation. We have to practice some self-reflection and find some self-esteem, y'all. Child, that's all I got. I can't stay here long, but I did just want to give my brief commentary. I know we did the watch party of the fuller version of this, but I did want to share my immediate thoughts about the series events and how this has gone viral. What are y'all's thoughts about this Reesa Teesa situation? What are y'all's thoughts about these series of events and how gullible she was? Do you think this is related to a self-esteem issue, or do you think there are other factors at play? I'm very curious to hear y'all's thoughts. Until next time, see you guys.
Even if you think I should, bitch, bigger, I don't give.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.